just jumped up out of my sleep. I slipped on my slippers and I ran outside and I was like, hey, 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 hey. I already knew what time it was, but I was just sitting there trying to process it. This man had a car up on the hook and everything, and he was like, you have the key? I was like, yeah. Only thing that I asked her, let me just get my clothes, because at this point I would have lost my fucking mind. I would have lost my fucking mind, okay, if I So what's going on, everybody? So welcome back to the little series I'm doing, you know, talking about my now, you know, it's crazy, I can talk about this now and it doesn't really bother me as much as when I was going through it, but I feel like this whole experience of me talking about it and me expressing to you guys like everything that happened, it's kind of bringing a lot more closure to the situation, and I'm able to be like, yo, I actually like went through that, and I'm, you know, progressing still today to get into where I want to be. So yeah, so the last video that I talked about was the ghetto hotel, basically.
The ghetto. The ghetto.
Like it was something serious, and I was working like almost like a little hustler man, just out there, just getting it, making sure, you know, we had everything that we needed to basically survive at this point. You know, because, you know, when you live in a hotel, you are considered as homeless. You don't have an address, you don't, and I didn't have an address or anything at that time I could have used, you know, personally, like for my own stuff and all that. My stuff was in storage and all that. So yes, I was, you know, considered as homeless. And that to me was like the hardest pill to swallow, was just accepting the fact that you're homeless. And I didn't really have much at that time. All I had was my car, that I was still making payments on. I was almost done paying for my car. And, you know, I was trying my best just to survive, you know what I mean? And I was going out lifting every day. I was using it to go ahead and you know, try to at least have somewhere to sleep, somewhere to shower, somewhere to eat, you know, just the normal essentials, at least somewhere to, you know, I'd use the hotel as well, like I was saying in the last video, to cut hair and all that. So it was just a time. But y'all, when I mean to tell you, he had other plans. Toxic had other plans. And at this point, I really didn't feel like, you know, like a couple weeks went by, a month goes by, and you're just like, okay, like what are you doing? So I don't know if y'all remember the story time that I had went ahead and talked about more at the beginning of the year when I got scammed by the scammer. If y'all remember this video right here. At that time, he decided to go ahead and want to help us a little bit, and he was telling us about another hotel that was much nicer. It was more of a longer type of stay, like you could pay by the week, or you could pay by the month, or by the night, or whatever. So I was like, you know what, because they didn't offer a discount at all at the current hotel that we were at. Now mind you, it was a little bit of a distance from where I currently was now, and really and truly that hotel was really dated. And I kid you not, we moved and it literally we're there for one night. Like, first of all, it wasn't even the full night. No, yeah, we stayed there for a night, and we had left the next day. So this is where everything made a complete turn for the worst. I just was like, oh my goodness. So when I mean to tell you, I don't do well with individuals that just they have a fucking thick head, and I hate repeating myself. It pisses me off for me to sit there and fucking repeat myself, especially to somebody that I actually care about. And this nigga used to, yes, I'm just gonna say this nigga.
I think somebody trying to set me up. I believe that.
Just go ahead and just make me have to fucking repeat myself over and over and over again. And it would just piss me the fuck off. Like, I would get so mad because I'm like, bruh, we are homeless right now. You don't have shit. You're not even trying to get shit. You didn't have a job. Like, it was starting to piss me off. And I remember that we had gotten into an argument. I don't remember exactly how the argument started, but all I remember was at this point, it put me like off the fucking Richter scale of being pissed off, because I was just like, bro, you're pissing me the fuck off. I get up every day, I go out driving, I make sure that we have everything that we need to do, and you just sitting on your ass in here basically doing nothing. And when I ask you to do something, you don't want to do it. So I was just like, like, on top of the fact that, like, I'm literally sitting in this hotel with you when I really don't have to, and I'm trying to help you out, I'm trying to help myself out, and you're not making the situation easier. So, like, I don't exactly remember how it escalated, but it escalated, y'all. Like, it escalated to where it almost got physical. My best friend was there. Y'all know Quan. Hey, Quan, I know you're watching this video, buddy. But yeah, y'all, listen. I was getting so mad. I was just like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I really don't need it. At that point, I didn't give a damn. I had nowhere to go at that moment. I didn't give a damn that I didn't have, you know, not necessarily resources or anything like that. And I really did not care about him, because me, when you want to inflict harm on me and I've done nothing but trying to help you, oh, we ain't got nothing to talk about. We have nothing to talk about. That's one thing I don't play about. You don't put your hands on people. You keep your hands to yourself. Domestic violence, you know, like, is not cool. Like, you don't put your hands on people, especially you're a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass man. If we can't sit down and have a conversation about this without you trying to get on and you wanna get in my face, because no, I'm not finna do that with you. But if you want to put your fucking hands on me, oh, what's up? Because I'm not a punk. I'm not about to back down on that. Like, that's dead. We're not doing that. So I was just like, yeah, nah. So this point, I already had mentally set in my head that we're done. I didn't want nothing else to do with him. I was done. I already made arrangements to go ahead and have somewhere to go. I packed my shit up in my car and I left. He kept calling me, are you really gonna leave me at the hotel and blah, 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 all by myself? You left me stranded and this, that, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you should have thought about that before you trying to put your hands on me. And then I put you in the car with me and we get into a physical altercation and we end up, our safety is in jeopardy. We end up getting into a car crash, the car gets ruined, and then I have nothing. No, at this point, I have too much to lose right now. If I were to go ahead and get in that situation with you, then law enforcement's gonna get involved, and we're probably both gonna get arrested. I ain't got time for that. Lord, yes, Father God, for blessing me that I have reached the age next week. I will be 28 years old on the 22nd. I'm recording this video today on the 17th, and I have not had any trouble with law enforcement, and I want to keep it that way as long as possible. I don't want no trouble. I don't want a record, and I want to keep it that way. And I was just like, yeah, I had to let that situation go. So I left him there. What I mean to tell you, I felt like a sigh of relief. I still felt a little down. I was upset. I had a lot of emotions going on at that time. And I'll never forget it. I had left there and I had met up with Quan and James at a bar. We had went out to Ybor and went to the bar. And I just sat there and I just started crying. I just I just was just bawling my eyes out, because I was just like, I can't believe I really care so much about this person. I'm going through this right now. I don't want to go through this right now. I've never been through anything like this in my life. And it was really, oh my God, I'm trying not to get emotional now. But it was really something that I just could not fathom, the fact that everything was just going on right then and there. And at the time, everybody was just going through it. Like, it was just the beginning of the year, the pandemic was still going on, the rental crisis was going on all over the country. It was just a lot. And when I mean to tell you, I'm so happy that I have the maturity level that I have, because I could not imagine to go through that if I didn't have, the hustle mindset that I have, the grind mentality that I have, the eager to do better in my life. I'm just so happy I have that. And I have to say, no, my mother and I may not speak, but she is a huge contributor to why I go so hard, because she went hard. You know what I mean? She may have not been the best in everything that a mother could be, but what I mean to tell you, she made sure she could provide. She made sure she could provide. And I will, my hat goes off to that woman for that. She made sure she could provide. She made sure that me and my little brother had everything that we needed. And I'm so thankful for that. But, after going through all that, you have to face reality. So at that time, I was staying with a friend of mine. And I told myself, I'm going to give myself 2 weeks to go ahead and get myself together. I'm going to hustle as much as I can, because at this point now I don't have to pay for a hotel. Now I don't have to basically take care of somebody. Now I can go ahead and get this process going. Now, the most evilest thing that this individual could have done to me, okay? Please, if you know him, if you know me personally, I just ask before I even say this, because not everybody knows this, I'm about to make it public. Please do not try to attack him in any type of way. Please, I just ask. I'm just telling the story just to get it off my chest. I've moved on from it. I know it's fucked up. It happened already. There's nothing I can do about it. It happened. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. My BMW that I had was a 2014 BMW. My BMW, I put down a lot of money for this car. Okay, it was almost done being paid for. I think I only literally had, like $2,500 and some change left on it to pay it off. I was gonna pay it off real soon. I would have paid it off by now, actually. Now that I think about it, it would have been paid off by now. I don't know in any which way how this individual. Oh, hold on. Let me back up for a second. I'm actually looking at it right now, my iPad. I did not realize he went in my car when I packed all of my stuff up when we broke up and I left the hotel. I did not realize that he stole my iPad. He went and stole my iPad. I use my iPad for Lyft and all that. And mind you, my iPad is not like a personal iPad. The iPad is opened up with a business line. That's what I use for my business. Like that was something that I purchased solely for TheeHandsomeBarber Lounge Incorporated, my business. So I went ahead and put it in the car and everything, and he must have went in the car and took out my iPad. I didn't even realize I didn't have it until I started looking for it when I was on the way leaving from the bar, heading back to where I was gonna be staying. And I was like, okay. Yo, when I mean to tell you, that night went by, I woke up the next day, I chilled that day. I didn't go anywhere. That night, now mind you, it's around the holidays and everything that's like coming up. Like Thanksgiving had went by, we're in December at this point. I don't know what it was, but that second night I was laying down and I was resting. So mind you, I don't have my iPad now. I'm pissed about that. The car is parked outside of my friend's place. Now mind you, he lived in a tiny home community. So he was in a tiny home. If y'all remember the Christmas vlog that I had released, my last clip that I recorded or whatever was in there. Like at that time, like that Christmas vlog, that's where I was. And I never forget it. Something told me to wake my ass up. I jumped up out of my sleep so fast. And when I mean to tell you, when I jumped up out of my sleep so fast, I saw like lights like outside flashing, like, you know, like the yellow light. And I said, I know goddamn well. I'm like, first of all, how did they find the car? How did they know where it was? Because I was sitting there, I'm like, I took out the tracking device because the car had a tracking device in it. I took out the tracking device out of the car and I left it at the storage. So I'm like, they don't know where the car is unless they have another one in there. And I just jumped up out of my sleep. I slipped on my slippers and I ran outside and I was like, hey, 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 hey. I already knew what time it was, but I was just sitting there trying to process it. This man had a car up on the hook and everything, and he was like, you have the key? I was like, yeah. Only thing that I asked her, let me just get my clothes, because at this point I would have lost my fucking mind. I would have lost my fucking mind, okay, if I would have lost all my clothes and my shoes, because that is basically like all I had at that point. And mind you, I still lost a lot of things, because there was a lot of things in that car that I just didn't. It was maybe like 2 or 3 in the morning. At this point, I'm barely awake. All I knew in that moment, give the key to that man and be nice to him so you can get your shit. And I got my clothes and everything out of the car. I was infuriated. What I mean to tell you, I was infuriated because I was sitting there and I was like, I'm mad because I know that this was his doing. I can't be too upset because I know I didn't pay for the car. That I couldn't really be upset about. I was going to make the payment that week, but I still was working on making the money for it. And like I was saying, I was almost done paying for that car, so I was trying to do everything that I could. I would have had a newer vehicle paid for. And I was like, damn. So, like, I took my stuff and I went back and I laid down and I tried to go to sleep. I could not sleep. I was just so mad. I'm like, now I'm on my iPad, now I ain't got no fucking car. And I know the reason why he did that too was because I had went up there to the hotel, because at that time, you know, I know I'm going a little all over the place, but I'm just trying to just give the bits. I'm not trying to, you know, like there's just some things that y'all can know and there's just some things that y'all can't know. And y'all just gotta respect that. I had went up to the hotel that same day, right? The first hotel that we were staying at, because I had got him a job there. He just started working there. Like, just started working there right before we broke up. And I had went up there and I went to go look for him. Because I was like, yo, I know you have my iPad and you're not giving me my iPad. And I know you have it. Like, I had the location tracked on it. Like, there was enough incriminating evidence for that. I had called the police and everything. He lied to the police. He would not give my iPad. And in the process, he cracked the damn screen. So I was just so upset. And then the simple fact that you got so mad that I left you and I moved on and did me because you were going to put your hands on me and harm me, that you got upset to the point where you would take the one thing that I was using to make money away from me. Why? For what reason? For what reason? Now, I look back at it now and I'm like, the one thing that I always tell myself, Omari, you didn't pay for it. If you paid for it, he couldn't have had it taken away from you. But I was so busy trying to make sure that we had somewhere to stay. I was taking you wherever you need to go in this car. You know what I mean? Like, you just got just so, like, evil thoughts in your mind for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't hurt you. It's not like I did anything to him. All I did was leave you where you was at. You had a phone. You could have called somebody to come and get you. It's not like you got left somewhere and you could have been harmed or anything. He was fine. He was fine. He had the room and everything. Like, he was fine. He would have been fine until the next morning to leave. He had somewhere to stay. He just got upset. And he ended up just going to the hotel and staying there because that's where he was working. But anyways, guys, that concludes this part. I really, 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 really hope that y'all don't look at me a little too differently now, but I've been through it. I've been through it, and I'm still a loving person, and I will always continue to be. That will never change. Okay? All right. I'll see y'all in part number 5.